let's go ahead and get right into this live stream, man. I'm on a roll with the live streams, and I just have to give myself a pat on the back. Let's let's comment something. Comment something. Trying to think. When you come into the chat, comment where you at. Comment what your city is, state, where you reside, where you're from, etc. Let's get it. My name is Lauren, but I go by Lolo Holistic Flow on this channel because we're flowing holistically. And recently, I've decided to follow my innermost gut and my heartfelt most passion to spread meditation in minority communities as a tool for healing, as a tool for not just suppressing your thoughts and emotions, but releasing it so that we can be better for ourselves and help others heal too. And I seek to normalize meditation and mindfulness in minority communities, mainly the Black community, because when you let's be real, when you Google meditation, you see mostly people that ain't Black. So we want to change that, and we want to change the stigma around meditation in the Black community. So in this live stream, you all, I'm going to be discussing, well, we're going to be discussing, because this is a one-on-one discussion about why Black people should meditate. And I'm going to do that by addressing some of the stigmas that are already in the Black community about meditation. A lot of them revolve around the way we've been brought up, like religious beliefs, cultural misunderstandings, stigmas around mental health. I already know that some of you all went ahead and gave this live stream a thumbs up. So if you're coming in, comment where you're at, comment where you're from, and give this a thumbs up. So we're gonna address some of those cultural things or cultural fears that get in the way of Black people taking care of their mental health because of a fear of, you know, doing something that is not honestly in whatever Black people are supposed to do in our eyes. Hope that made sense. I have some notes right here on my phone. That's why I'm scrolling up and down. And just want to have these talking points to make sure I hit all of the possible talking points that are super important for this discussion. So let's get into it. Again, when you get in the comments, comment below where you're from, where you at, to hear where you are from, because you never know. I might want to come in person, or I do come in person actually, but I might want to come in person to your city. So let me know when or where. So here's the thing. I've been meditating for like regularly for like 4 years now. And I've been teaching meditation for 3 years, 3 out of 4 of those years. And out of all the time that I've been meditating and teaching meditation, I've personally had many experiences with releasing trauma in the form of negative thoughts, negative emotions, and releasing suppressed trauma and noticing that trauma, or let's just say like negative thoughts, negative ways of thinking, get stuck in our bodies as manifestations, I'll say that, of stress, of anxiety, of anger, of fear, all of those negative emotions. If we don't learn how to release them in a healthy way, we end up suppressing them, which in turn creates stress and anxiety, not only mentally, but physically. When we're going through our day-to-day lives, we don't notice that we suppress things. So in my own journey of meditating now for, like I said, 4 years and teaching meditation for 3, I've noticed how much there is not education around why meditation is so important and living a meditated life. I'll say that, meditated life, because meditation is the medication. There's just not enough support from our community, and there's also not enough education around what meditation actually is. And the fact that you can do it anytime, any place, anywhere. And it's as simple as noticing your breath. It's as simple as that. So again, I'm going to address some reservations, and I want you all to stay all the way until the end of the live stream because I'm going to announce something really cool that I have going on that you might have already seen, but I'm going to add something onto it that you have never seen because I've never talked about it before. So let's see. Therese says, "Hey, I'm from Ottawa, Canada. That's what's up." Teresa, sorry. Therese or Teresa. Georgia Banks Martin says, "Hello from Montgomery, Alabama." Montgomery, Alabama. That's what's up. All right, so yeah, let's get into this talk. Why Black people should meditate more. Put in the chat why you think Black people should meditate more. Also, if you're on the replay of this live stream, type replay in the chat. Yes, these are prescription glasses. Beyond Her Eyes. Hello, Queen. Hey, what's up? Yeah, why do you think from Atlanta? That's what's up. Why do you all think Black people should meditate more? What's your take on it? If you have any questions, I will do my best to answer the questions throughout our conversation, but then I'll also do a little question session at the end. Where you from? Put it down in the chat. So it's important that meditation reaches everybody, regardless of race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, etc. And that's important because meditation simply is just changing your awareness. So I want to take the idea out of everybody's mind that it's just like you have to sit still and you have to do this little hand mudra, which most people don't even know what this means. They just see it on Avatar or, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, or you see it on TV, and just get this image out of your mind that it has to be a certain way, like a certain structured way. Meditation, and this is what I learned from my meditation teacher training. The definition of it is changing your awareness or your state of awareness using your mind, your body, or your breath. So, right? So like Beyond Her Eyes says, meditation is good for connecting to your intuition and higher self. Yes, it is. That's such a deep question. Yeah. So yes, it's self-awareness connecting with your higher source. So the thing is, right, whether you're, more religious and, deep into your religion or your faith or, whatever your spiritual belief is, there's a belief that there is a core essence of our spirit that is a extension of higher source, God, creation, right? Higher source, God. So inside of all of us, when you feel that, whether you call it, your intuition, when you all feel your intuition or your gut feeling or something that tells you don't go there or don't go to that place or just, follow these guidelines today because if not, then there might be danger ahead. That's our intuition, our higher self. And so we all know in some shape or form that is within ourselves. So because of that, because that's a unified core value that all human beings have, whether you call it something different or not, meditation is a tool that helps you connect with that, your inner God and your inner self. The reason why we are often taken away from that is just because of distractions and a somewhat like indoctrination of how life is supposed to be and how we're supposed to act, or how we're supposed to be as we grow up, that only takes us further from the self that we know. So you can think of it as, a child. And this is why I feel like having a childlike heart is so important because, and I'm gonna get to the comments in a second, but having a childlike heart is so important because when you are a child, you are a free spirit. Like a child is probably the most quote unquote wild and also the most pure because nobody can tell them what they don't know. They haven't been indoctrinated or brainwashed into a certain belief system or way of thinking. So they're the happiest people that you'll ever meet because they get to day by day follow their intuition, follow their inner guide, and connect with that and have fun and learn things as they go. But once we start to learn things because we get told how to learn things or told how to behave or told which direction in life to go, that's when our joy gets sucked away from us. That's when our self-concept gets skewed. And that's why meditation, as not just like a practice of calming the mind or bringing your awareness to the breath, but just as a lifestyle to live a meditated life, I'm calling it a mindful life, is the lifestyle of just being more aware. And get to these comments. Much love, respect, and good vibes from Seattle. Seattle, that's what's up. Spirit comes in all forms. Yes. I believe Black people should meditate because the people have been caught up in the rat race. We all need to return back to the natural order of things, and meditation can assist with this. Yes, thank you, Muhammad. It's part of who we are. Meditation can also be for releasing. Totally agree. Totally agree. Keep putting those comments in the chat of why you personally think Black people need to meditate. This is so awesome and so amazing. I decided to start the brand Black and Medicated recently because I was meditating when I came up with the name of the brand Black and Medicated, and that the content on my YouTube channel is going to start to shift a little bit. It's going to start to shift a little bit to a more authentic point of view. Things are just in general are shifting. Things on the internet in general are shifting, if you all haven't noticed. And there's a call to just be a lot more authentic about what you stand for. And there's a part of myself I feel like that I've been masking on the internet just because I wanted to appeal to a wider range of people and not go so focused in on a certain group of people, i.e. Black people. But the thing is, I never want to exclude anybody, but I want to make space for the people who really need, the space to be made for them, which is Black people in the space of mindfulness, because there's so many barriers keeping us from attaining mental well-being because of so many different stigmas around this topic. Yeah, it's part of who we are. Yep, totally agree. Much love from Nigeria. That's what's up. Out of all the African ancestry that I have, I'm mostly Nigerian, so that's pretty cool. So I wanted to go through some of the main things that keep Black people from meditating. By meditating, of course, I want to repeat the definition is that you're just changing your awareness with your mind, breath, or your body. So whether that is you're just sitting down or you're standing up and you count from 1 to 10, you're just changing your awareness. Whether you start breathing deeper, you start to notice your breath getting deeper, that's meditation. Or whether you just start to bring your awareness to each of your 10 toes, that's meditation. It's just changing and shifting and being able to shift, being able to guide yourself into a shifted state of being. And whenever you notice that you're distracted or where your focus is fractured, meaning because where your attention goes, your energy flows. And that's so important to know. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So what you think about grows larger. If your attention is always on the things that you feel like never go right, if your attention is always on the things that are hurting you or are negative towards you or don't feel good, or your attention is always on the group of people who are hating on you, where your attention goes, energy flows. So more of that energy is going to come back towards you. And that's why it's so much more important to notice where our attention is going and then notice how to just shift our awareness. Just notice how to shift our awareness. So yeah, exactly. Awareness is your mindset. I love that. I also want to bring your attention to the pinned comment. I pinned a comment up at the top. Join the free meditation webinar. I mean, not webinar, it's a workshop. I'm going to be hosting that workshop on the 16th of Saturday, or Saturday 16th. That's next Saturday. And it's about how to redesign your mind with meditation and release those negative cycles that you constantly find yourself in. Release emotions, not just suppress them, which is super important. So let's get into these ways in which you can, there are actually things to debunk. So let's debunk a couple of things. So some individuals within the Black community might associate meditation practices with other cultures. And because of we associate meditation and like and like, chanting and all this other stuff, right? Which I definitely want to pay homage, how do you say that word? Homage to the ancient practices from years and years and years ago, before Westernized culture even caught up, because Western culture is just catching up. But I want to pay homage to those cultures, because without them, we wouldn't have what we have today. And it's important to still be respectful of other cultures, even if you can't understand their culture. Let's be real, because it's a lot of people who don't respect our culture. It's a lot of people who don't respect our belief systems because they don't think that it's right. That doesn't call for you to, or us to, throw that energy back out there, right? So, but however, because we may see that meditation and certain meditation practices are originating in other cultures, and we only see those other cultures practicing it, we think that it's not relevant to our own experience in our own culture. So homage is, I feel like I still read it wrong, but is the correct pronunciation. So yeah, we may feel like it's not relevant to our own experience, or that we can't practice it because it doesn't align with our religious or spiritual values, just because we see like a Buddha statue and we know we're not Buddhist. And so that myth, or debunking that myth, looks like applying the fact that, do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Who is St. Patrick's Day for? Can y'all answer that in the chat? Who is St. Patrick's Day for? And so why do Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day? What? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of pagan holidays on the American calendar, on the US calendar, whatever you want to call it, that we celebrate each and every year. Not all of us, but some of us, and we don't even know where it originated from. So it's like, why, when we question meditation or mindfulness, right? We question whether it's for us, even though there's a lot of things that, especially in Western culture, they kind of like appropriate and kind of fit into what they want it to be, or into the origin that they want it to do. So much so that sometimes practices are erased from its original intent and turned into something totally different than the original intent. Not saying that it's right or wrong, just saying that that's what happens. So just because, meditation originates in India, and there's Hindu and Buddhist and Taoist, which is another kind of like religion, just because it originates from those religions and cultures doesn't mean that we can't take advantage of the benefits that it provides. So I just want to debunk that first. There also, get to these comments, right? It's Irish people. Yes, this is an actual live video right now. It's going on right now. It's 7:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where I am at. Therese says that's why we need to keep spreading the word on the benefits of meditation and mindfulness, right? Because it's all about the benefits of it. It doesn't matter how you practice it because there's so many different ways to do it. You can close your eyes and count to 10 from 1 to 10, or you can, breathe deeper to regulate your nervous system, or you can just educate yourself more about what you feel comfortable with doing to calm your mind and your body. And it's the transformation that it provides, not the actual practice itself. America is always accommodating groups of people. And at one point, there was a flux of Irish people traveling the land. Yeah, of course. America is a melting pot. And it's amazing that or that America in general, is a mix of cultures. Because I believe that as we mix cultures, as long as we have a conversation about what the cultural influences are and the origins of our practices, we can start to understand each other more instead of just kind of claiming to believe in something or practice something just because you see it and it looks cool. And that because we are a melting pot, we're able to gain more knowledge and understand each other. And at the same time, there ends up being a lot more other mixing of things going on and appropriation going on. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword in my opinion. The Christian Bible does state to meditate, but it states to meditate on scripture. Of course. Meditate on the word day and night. Love your voice. Thank you. The Black community is also mainly mixed people. Ain't that right? I got like 4 different, I actually have Irish in me. I actually have Irish in me, so that's funny that I mentioned St. Patrick's Day. But anyways, since we mentioned the Bible, Liz, I wanted to, not to call you up or anything like that, but I was going to talk about that later on. But since we're mentioning that, I also want to make that the second stigma that we have about meditation. And an example includes something like, it's not of God, or if you're chanting Om, or if you're chanting something that you don't, in Sanskrit that you don't know what it is. And I'm a yoga and meditation teacher, so I know a lot of chants do mention gods in Hindu, like Hindu gods, right? To that, I would say there's some education that you would definitely want to do before doing certain or chanting certain things that you don't know what they mean, which is why there is a great need to do research on what you're doing before you do it and why you're doing it. But that goes back to the intent. Again, I said before, like, what is the transformation that you want to have? If you are wanting to regulate your nervous system and calm your mind so that you can set your day off right and don't cuss anybody out today at work, right? You may want to regulate your breath and calm your nervous system. And this is just on the scientific level by inhaling for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 6. And that's your meditation. There's no chanting. And Om is not, Om means the sound of the universe. When we were born, we are all energy. When you can feel somebody's energy literally when you walk into a room. As emotion, if somebody's emotions change, you can feel it in your body, right? So we're energy, right? Energy is vibration, and vibration is sound. And we're all made out of sound, energy, vibration. You can feel it, and you can also hear it if you listen enough. I've heard it before in my meditation before. I talked about it on the last live stream if you want to listen to it. But the stigma comes when you feel like everything that's like chanting or that's like mantra-ish is not of God. And the thing we have to realize that if we are regulating our own nervous system, calming our own mind, the Bible also says be anxious for nothing. And if we are having anxious thoughts, reading the Bible is very helpful. There's tons of scriptures, some of them that take a lot to read over and over and over again to really hear what the word is saying. But if you're having anxiety, what better way to do that than manually regulate your breath? Because we're showing ourselves that we have autonomy over our own bodies and minds. And if you are, praying for less anxiety and stress, but don't actually do the work to get there, then if you don't believe that you'll actually get there, then the praying that you're doing might be in vain because your mindset is not matching up to the words that you're speaking. So you're in direct contradiction with your own self. So what I'm saying is that a lot of us have hopes of the results that we'll get without any work doing to get that result. And whatever that feels like to you, or whatever you're comfortable with that being your practice, then regulate your breath, regulate your body, slow down your breathing. So, and what I was gonna go into the whole vibration thing because Om is like actually 3 syllables. Some faiths believe 4. It's ah, o, actually it's ah, and then aum. Some people say om, some people say aum, but it's 3 syllables, and it's the natural vibration of the universe. Like I said, we are all made out of energy vibration because we feel the vibration. And when somebody sings, you feel it too. So just imagine how actually repeating aum, aum, you're like attuning your body to vibration. I actually listen to vibrations every night, and it's just singing bowls. If you ever listen to singing bowls, they're very healing because we are all made out of vibration. So yeah, that's just a good point to make. And I may be a little bit biased because I learned a lot during meditation and yoga teacher training. And by the way, I am a preacher's kid. I grew up in the church. I grew up in the church ever since I was young. I was active in the youth ministry. I was the youth ministry president. I was on the praise team. I was on the dance ministry. I was in church plays. I was all up in the church. I was in the church about 3, 4, 5 days a week in high school. I was very, very active. And I know what it's like growing up in a community, a religious, very strong religious, faith-based community. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with a strong religious faith in Jesus Christ, in God, if that's what feeds your soul, you know? So I definitely hold true to that. Whatever belief or faith that you hold, don't let anybody tell you something that wavers your faith, because you have to be grounded and rooted just like a tree. And if somebody says something that challenges your faith or belief, then maybe possibly it's time to kind of like think outside the box and see something greater beyond what you've been taught, right? Otherwise, just stay firm in what you believe. And if somebody says something that conflicts with it, then it don't matter anyways, because it conflicts with it, and you know what you know is what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like when you know what you know, it shouldn't be no conflict in like somebody saying something and it doesn't resonate with you, because if it doesn't resonate, then just leave it. If it don't resonate, then it don't resonate. And that's totally fine. So yeah, let's get to the rest of these stigmas. Which I got to say in the comments. Love your voice. Thank you. The Black community. Oh yeah, I read that already. Meditate on spirit, your higher source. Is Hamsa breathing idolatry? I'm genuinely asking. I'm not sure what Hamsa breathing is. Hi, how are you, Gianna? I'm good. How are you? A pretty productive day, so I'm so glad about that. Yeah, I just want to bring you all's attention to the pinned comment. I have a free meditation workshop that I'm doing. It's Black and Meditated's first free workshop. So In that workshop, you'll learn how to redesign your mind from stress to joyfulness, from anxious to joyful, from stress to success. I like that one. To know how to rewire your brain and stop stress and anxiety in its tracks. You have the autonomy to do that. So come and learn how to do that in my meditation workshop. So click the link there and it'll take you right to it. And you can sign up for free. So let's get into some more of these stigmas around why Black people may not, why meditation may be kept from Black people, right? Another one is a fear of being labeled. And how many of you all can identify with any one of these? That creates a resistance to engaging in activities, including meditation, because you may be perceived as being exposed to your personal struggles. Who can identify with that? Have you ever felt exposed? Have you ever been swallowed up? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had to. I just thought of that. Y'all know what I'm talking about, TD Jakes? Have you ever been swallowed up? You feel swallowed. Man, oh man. But anyways, so if you feel exposed to your personal struggles because you start to realize that, oh snap, like, man, I got so much stuff in my head. I have so many thoughts running through my head. And when you're meditating, you're becoming more aware. Like I said, meditation is changing your awareness using your mind, your body, or your breath. So a lot of us are scared, but we don't have to be fearful, you know? We have not been given the spirit of fear. Children, they have no fear. They go near fire, they have no fear because they don't know no hurt. They don't know no pain. And that's possible to get back to. The thing is, we're taught emotional pain. Physical pain, yeah, we feel physical pain because we live in a physical body. But did you know that monks, actually, they did a study on monks, and I read this in Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk. They did a study on monks handling painful experiences versus, regular people handling the same painful experiences. And because monks do extensive training on compassion, on not internalizing fear, pain, or basically emotional turmoil, when they did feel physical pain, it did not register as emotional pain. So, for example, they might feel pain if they stub their foot on the side of a dresser, but they might not react to that pain in a way that you're like, oh my gosh, this hurts so bad. Oh my gosh, the world is ending because I stubbed my toe on the dresser. Or they might not show it by crying, right? And it doesn't mean that they are suppressing their pain. It just means that they feel physical pain, but they don't process it emotionally because pain is only a physical experience. It doesn't have to be an emotional one. We learn that pain is an emotional experience from the time that we are maybe a toddler and we do something. We learn that fire is hot, and then we go near the fire and then we say, ouch. And then one of the adults starts saying, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. And then we start crying, right? Like, have you ever noticed that when a baby does something, or an infant, right? If they do something and they're just exploring and they're exploring something new for the first time, any adult that's in the room is going to react to it. And depending on how the adult reacts, the infant will then learn how to react every single other time that happens. Right? So what was my original thing that I was talking about? Oh, it was acknowledging I was acknowledging feeling like you're exposed, because when you feel like you're exposed to your thoughts and you feel like you're alone in your thoughts, it's only an emotional experience. Not to say that emotions aren't valid, because they are, but we don't have to make it a physically draining experience. Or we don't have to take a physically draining experience and make it a emotional experience all the time. Sam Hawksworth said, I used to think production was more important than meditation. Productivity? Yeah. Can men wear bangs? Sure. Wear all the bangs that you want. The most of African meditation I may be aware of is Rastafarians use herb, which is used to assist one to meditate, but that also would go in hand with reading scripture. And so I'm not actually a lot cultured on Rastafarian culture, but there's different ways to bring about certain mindfulness states, certain states of mind, and whichever way that is for you, that is kudos to you. But just know that it is changing your awareness through your mind, body, or breath. So that could be a way of changing your awareness through your breath, and changing your awareness through, being aware of the scripture as well, because I know that they do use the scripture. I think Rastafari originated from, the people of Rastafari. What country in Africa? It's a country in Africa. If you know, put it in the comments. It's not Nigeria. I know that for a fact. The Rastafari people originate from a specific tribe in Africa. But so yeah, I'm trying to keep this live. I'm trying to keep this live stream a little under an hour. Actually, not under an hour, maybe a little over an hour today. Ethiopia, yes, Ethiopia. Because Ethiopia is the country in Africa that has their independence. That's kind of like independent from the whole continent, pretty much. Yeah. If what stigmas do you all think? Or, like I went to the question in the beginning, why do you all think that Black people needed to meditate more? Comment below if you haven't already. What stigmas have you seen or learned about in Black culture that keep Black people from meditating? When I first announced that I was going to change my brand name from Holistic Fit Meditation, which was what it was before, which literally just didn't resonate after about a year of me operating my meditation business. And when I announced I was going to change it from Holistic Fit Meditation to Black and Medicated, people were like, and this was actually mostly like maybe 40 and up people, which, no offense, but the age difference makes a huge difference. That mostly 40 up people said, like, Black and Medicated. It looks like Black and medicated, because the point of it was to make people look twice. Like, when you see the word, go to the link up there, the pinned comment. I'm gonna pin it in the chat, actually, just in case you don't see it in the comment. But the reason I chose Black and Meditated, and that rhymes with medicated, was because, number one, yeah, meditation is medication. Like, meditation is healing. Noticing your breath is healing. Deepening your breath is healing. Putting all your awareness into your body is healing, right? But then also, a lot of Black people, instead of actually learning how to release stress, they go ahead and, medicate with whatever. That's how they do it in a lot of cultures, but we talking about especially the Black culture. And so, because a lot of people looked at it and saw Black and medicated, I was like, that must be a stigma that we have against ourselves that makes us really go there first instead of looking at what it actually says. Like instead of looking at the words that are actually on the screen. Because meditated isn't a thing that you see after Black. So because of that, I knew I had to normalize it. I just knew it. Right? So I think that's a stigma in and of itself. What's up, Just Phil TV? Muhammad says, I have no remembrance of Kemet and I'm not knowledgeable on the Yoruba or Yoruba. Those are the two African ways of life that's left next to Rastafari. Got it. Got it. I'm not knowledgeable on Kemet either, or in Kdic Yoga. But that is a lot of those principles of, Kdic Yoga. There's a lot of things just in the philosophy of different African tribes, African faiths or spiritual walks that we still follow to this day. Right? That we still follow to this day. And because we were still somehow connected to that to this day, we still follow it, but we just don't realize that we follow it. Like our ancestors are very mindful. They're very rooted in nature. They're very grounded. They're very natural. Go out into the sun, put your feet into the ground, realizing that we're a magnet for what we attract, realizing that we need to charge our body with the sun. Like, and a lot of those things we know, we just don't get the time to or make the time to practice and get back to that. Hello from New Jersey. That's what's up, New Jersey. Black and medicated automatically leans into the herb, but that's just a stereotype. Yeah, and that was the purpose of me putting it that way. That was the purpose of me putting that way, because I'm like, that it just, well, first of all, I think it really resonates with people who have to look twice at it, because it's going to be on shirts. I'm telling y'all. And like I said the other night, I already got my trademark paperwork in for it. I personally was thinking about it. The name came to me while I was meditating, and I was like, yo, this is a genius idea. I just think it's a genius idea. You know? I just think it's a genius idea. I may be wrong. But I'm only wrong if I think I'm wrong, so I'm right. Oh my goodness. So lack of cultural representation is a huge thing. When I first wanted to start meditating, not clear my mind. Well, that's what I said I wanted to do. But it's not that you ever clear your mind or stop thinking. You just become aware. You just become more aware. It's clearing nothing. It's not doing that. It's just become more aware. And when I was looking up on YouTube, I was looking at like meditation teachers or guided meditations, and couldn't find anybody Black. So then I was like, I gotta be that Black person. Like, I gotta be that somebody Black that people go and search up, but not just to, put guided meditations out on YouTube, because I don't do that and I never have done that, but just to talk about living a meditated lifestyle. There's so many different type of meditations that you can do. There's so many different type of meditation teachers that you can find out here, and a lot of them are great. But it's mostly having these type of conversations where you can bounce ideas off of each other and gain more insight through the stories that you share. I started meditating after my vegan journey and realized how much I needed meditation within my daily life. So what was I gonna say? Not the other. I'm going to, maybe tomorrow night or maybe on Saturday, I'm going to actually read some journal entries of times that I meditated and had like some wild experiences. I told about a really wild experience the other night on Tuesday night when I did a live stream about, I think it's called the wildest meditation experience that I've ever had. And I've had others like that. I just couldn't remember on the live stream the other night to tell it as vividly, but I'm going to actually read my journal entries out loud because I have more of them than I thought I did. But yeah, I resonate with that. Maya Fa. Sorry, I don't. Maya Fata. I I definitely resonate with that. That meditation can make you more aware of like, what am I eating, or why am I eating this, and what is it doing to my body? What if this goes criminal or vagabond as black and premeditated? I don't know. What does that mean? What if it goes criminal? What you mean by that? What you mean, like if somebody starts to ban it or something? LeBron James meditates before and during games. I bet he do. LeBron James. Half the time you study, you should probably be meditating on what you study. For sure. Oh, nice to meet you, Miracle. That's what's up. Appreciate. I appreciate the Hebrew. I appreciate the Hebrew translations for real, because I need to get a concordance, so I can read that joint. Back to back in Hebrew. A good YouTube channel that I've been going to for the Hebrew interpretations of things is the Bible Project, and they be breaking that joint down. Like, they be breaking that joint down to a science. I think that's pretty much really most of the notes that I had on this topic. Limited accessibility to meditation classes or spaces can be a huge reason that people do not meditate. And I wanted to bring to you all's attention that I have reopened my Patreon. Let me go ahead and go to my Patreon actually. I think I'm going to rename it. I think I'm going to rename my Patreon to Black and Meditated, just like the brand name, just so that, because right now it's my YouTube name, right? Holistic Flow. Let me go ahead and drop that joint down in chat right now. But yeah, we need some people in the Patreon, man. Haven't really been promoting it like I could or like I should, but go ahead and check out the Patreon. We're on there meditating once a week on Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. is Eastern Standard Time. I'll do a guided meditation on inhale, exhale through the nose, inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, 20-minute meditation. It's what most people know as Vipassana or mindfulness meditation that helps increase your focus, stabilize your mood, your breath, your body, but also you'll get access to my exclusive podcast that I've been kind of promoting a little bit, called the Flow State Podcast. And I talk about how to regulate your meditation practice if you want to start meditating, or if you want to get deeper into meditation practice or advance in your practice, what to do then. I talk about relationships, how to forgive others, how to forgive yourself, how to move on from negative cycles or people that have hurt you, and overall being outcasted and set apart. So those are the type of topics that I talk about on the podcast, and it's a little different vibe than here on the YouTube channel. If you want to be in the Patreon, it's only on the paid version though, because it takes some time to be able to record all of that too, and still do YouTube. So definitely go ahead, head over that to the Patreon, check it out. Oh, okay. Muhammad said, no, as if it's become a viral slogan promoting premeditated murder as the saying or example, as opposed to black and meditated. Nah, I mean, even if people try to do that, I have I have a trademark on it. Well, it's a pending trademark, but I'm working on a trademark on it. So because of that, that can't happen. People can't use it in a way that contradicts the same, or people can't use the same phrase in a way that contradicts the way that I'm presenting it, or the way that I'm using it. So that would be tragic if somebody did try to do that. Hey, vlogs with Zoe. What type of vlogs do you do? Lifestyle vlogs? Let's see, what other notes do I have? Other than that, y'all, that's pretty much it. Join my workshop. I'm going to bring your attention back to the pinned comment there that says join my free meditation workshop to learn how to redesign your mind from anxious to joyful. The first workshop of Black and Meditated, and there will be many and plenty more. I will say after the workshop, though, after the general workshop session, you can upgrade to a VIP session, which is only $7. And on the VIP session, it's people who really, really want to ask questions about anything about meditation. But I'm going to mostly be talking about how to release suppressed thoughts that are stored up in the mind that you didn't know that were stored up in the mind. And I'm going to be on that call until every single person is satisfied. Ask questions. It's going to be in real time. So we're going to be on Zoom. It's going to be an awesome experience. You'll also, if you upgrade to the VIP, you'll get my free, my ebook that's on Amazon for $9.99. You'll also get that included. It's called The Mindfulness Blueprint, 6 Key Steps to starting your meditation practice. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for right now. What questions y'all got for me? Questions or comments? Feeling comfortable in your own skin is super important. I feel like as you start to evolve, as you continue evolution, because evolution is a continuous journey, you stop caring. You stop caring. Not that you stop caring altogether, but you're just a lot more unbothered about who you're perceived to be because you know who you are. And ultimately, I think that's one of the greatest gifts that meditation has taught me. When I listen to my breath, I feel like my breath is my innermost spirit, the core of myself. The breath is the only thing that keeps going, the breath in the heart. But if you think about it, the breath is like the only thing that just keeps going and keeps flowing and goes around and around and around. And you don't have to do anything to make it keep going. It just keeps going. And therefore, it's like the perfect thing to meditate on because you can always feel it and you can always find it and locate it. And you can speed it up and slow it down. It's difficult to directly speed up and slow down your heart rate. But it's simple to speed up or slow down your breath. And when you do, everything else physiologically in your body changes. But because of that, overall, it's kind of a metaphor for how you can change the trajectory of your thoughts, therefore changing the trajectory of your life. Think about it. Your thoughts breed your thoughts and your words ultimately breed your actions. Your actions turn into your lived experiences, and then your lived experiences just turns into your life experiences. So by regulating your thoughts over and over again and practicing that, you can regulate your actions and your lived experiences, and then therefore like life experiences. That's a crash course on how to become unbothered over time. Just like I have mastered the art of being unbothered. I think you're embarking on something that could be practical and sacred. My hopes first is that I take it serious and apply it myself, for sure. And it's not so much about like taking it seriously. I mean, definitely take it seriously, but then also have more grace with yourself. In one of my podcast episodes, actually on the Patreon, on the paid version of the Patreon, I talked about how to really get disciplined and why motivation is not the answer to do the things that you actually want to do. It's more than anything, it's self-concept. So, for example, if the concept of yourself, if your self-concept is that you're not a healthy person and that's what you keep telling yourself, then you're not going to work out. Not that you're not motivated to work out. You may want to work out more than anything in the world and lose that weight or get that toned or get that booty. But if you keep telling yourself subconsciously that you're not a healthy person, then you're not going to work out. Reason being is because your self-concept is stronger than your motivation to do that thing. So when I started meditating, it's because I saw myself as a holistic person. Started this YouTube channel, Holistic Flow, and that became my self-concept. You can change your self-concept at any time, and you can change your beliefs about yourself at any time. It's sort of difficult to get out of it's sort of difficult to not have a self-concept, to not have an ego, unless you're just made out of spirit and you don't have any skin or body. Unless you're just a spirit, unless you are just spirit. Like, it's difficult to have an ego. I mean, it's difficult to not have ego. And your ego is your self-concept. And we actually need that somewhat in order to navigate life. So change your self-concept. Right? So if you feel like you want to take it more seriously, ask yourself, what are you telling yourself subconsciously that you do regularly or that you don't do regularly? Because the things that you do naturally without thinking about it, you do those things because of your self-concept, of how you see yourself. An athlete only works out 7-8 times a week and sometimes twice a day because their self-concept is that they are an athlete. Once a chef becomes a chef, they now home cook all their meals. Why? Because their title is a chef. That's their self-concept and their identity. So sometimes wrapping your identity or immersing your identity in a role is helpful because you'll be more motivated to do the things associated with that role. So maybe if you want to start meditating, see yourself as a mindful person, or start saying to yourself subconsciously, I'm a mindful person. I'm a calm person. I may have a little anxiety, but that doesn't mean I can't be a calm person. Some of us literally tell ourselves, I'm an anxious person. I'm an anxious person. Oh my gosh, my anxiety. I'm about to get into it. Don't let me get into it. But you know that anxiety actually became trendy. Like, anxiety actually became sort of trendy in an effort to bring more awareness to it. It actually became like a saying. Like, my anxiety has anxiety. Have y'all ever seen that saying before? So when you're subconsciously telling yourself stuff like that, you're defeating the actual purpose of becoming more mindful. You can have anxiety and still be a calm person. Like, you can have anxiety and still be a mindful person because you can tell yourself, hey, instead of being anxious, in my anxious moments, I still practice being calm because I'm a constant work in progress, and that's okay. Meditation has helped me cope with racing thoughts and schizophrenia. Of course. Your hair is beautiful. Thank you. Jasmine Porter said, yo, what's up? Live stream, give it a thumbs up. Again, go ahead and click the link in my description box. I mean, not description box. Go ahead and click that link down there, the pinned comment, so you can join my free workshop. It's called, the free workshop is it's on Saturday, March 16th. It's called Using Meditation to Redesign the Mind, Rewire Your Thoughts from Anxious to Joyful. You're going to know how to calm the mind in those negative cycles of thinking and take autonomy over your thoughts. Through the workshop, you'll gain the insight you need to start transforming the thoughts and make it a priority. We're on a mission to normalize healing with meditation in the Black community. So we're here to normalize it. So yeah, go ahead and, oh, did I put it back in the chat? Let me drop it in the chat. Boom. There we go. Muhammad Abdul Kareem says, well, I devote myself to prayer 5 times a day, and it's meditative in movement and motion. I feel like my cup is full currently. That's where the apply myself to conventional meditation comes in. Yeah, and like I said the other night too, somebody had asked me if I pray while I meditate. And I answered that meditation is like the response to prayer. And prayer is the response to meditation. So when you're praying, you are kind of doing all the talking. You're doing the inquiry. When you're meditating, you're hearing the response from what you said. So it's sort of like creating that two-way street. So prayer, meditation, yeah, for sure. Zayn says, what's good? I just got this book called How to Meditate by Kathleen McDonald. That's what's up. I've never read the book, but it sounds amazing. Olivia Cialanka says, hey, I'm here for the first time. Hey, Olivia, glad you made it. Look, I'm gonna stay on for a couple more minutes, y'all, because we had a good conversation today. We talked about certain stigmas in the Black community that keep us from meditating. If you still have a question, put it down in the comment for me to answer. What did we talk about? We talked about religion. We talked about certain religious beliefs and how they can keep Black people from meditating, especially, like I said, I'm a preacher's kid. I grew up in the church. Was in church 4 times a week, Bible study, Sunday school. I was on the youth ministry, praise team, gospel, everything. So I totally understand that. And now I'm a meditation and yoga teacher. What is the best times to study? It depends. Some people are more efficient at night. Some people are way more efficient at night. And then some people are more efficient in the morning. It just depends on which one you are. Some people will say they're night owls. That might mean that you're more efficient at night. Oh, what is the best time to meditate? So, this is a great question. Thank you for asking that. Before you eat anything. Thing is, when you're fasting, you are actually, I have to answer this carefully. When your body is in fast mode, you are like one of the most creative and mentally alert states. I'll say that. You want to meditate in the morning before you eat anything. If you've eaten anything, if you are meditating throughout the day or even at night, let it be 2 hours after you've eaten anything. And the reason why is because when you eat, your body goes into rest and digest. So if you feel like you've meditated, if you feel like you've tried to meditate over and over and over, but you keep falling asleep, your body might be in rest and digest. especially depending on what you're eating. If you're eating dead food, then your body might be trying to process some really heavy stuff. And meditation does make you more aware, make you more calm. So you do want to be more alert right before you meditate. That's true. Eating makes you mad lazy. Yeah. Do you think us as Black people require a common place of retreat for the collective advancement of meditation? That's a good question. That's a good question. I've never thought about that question. So that is question. That is. I mean, I don't know. That's a really good question, and I've never thought about the answer. But I would say I don't. I don't think we would need it, but I think it would be helpful. But I don't think it's absolutely necessary. Actually, I don't know about that. I don't know about that because your environment changes everything. So I might say yes on that. I might say yes on that. A lot of Black people aren't. A lot of us just are not in tune with how our ancestors were naturally. I'm not completely, utterly in tune with it. And we're disconnected from our ancestry. So in order to continue to uplift each other through, practice like meditation, mindfulness, it's better to be together than to be kind of like scattered throughout. Yeah. If anyone else has answered that question, definitely put it down in the chat. And then if anybody else has a question, definitely ask away. And I'll tell you why I answered that, because I'm a part of a mastermind. A mastermind is when a group of people, mainly entrepreneurs, get together and bounce ideas off of each other. And the purpose of it is to collaborate. So I am in a Black entrepreneur group called the TSP, Traffic, Sales, and Profit. And that business is to help Black entrepreneurs grow and scale their businesses. And the first time that I went to their conference, man, it was like 1,000 Black people in there. And not that it's all about the money, but it's about the purpose that the money is serving to make. But the amount of money that the people in the room were making, easily billions of dollars in the room. And for the level of humility that was in that room, you could see one of those people on the street, they ain't got no Benz. They ain't sporting no gold chains. They ain't sporting no Ray-Bans or like no fancy iced out watches or nothing like that. So because of the amount of humility also that's in the room, we were all able to pour into each other in a way that we were all able to level each other out, or to get on all of each other's level, because we are all in the same journey of entrepreneurship and purposeful entrepreneurship together. And it was the most empowering thing that I've ever experienced, honestly. And it was in Atlanta too. The conference is be in Atlanta. I go there twice a year. Actually, I go there like 3 times a year now. So now that I think about it, yeah, I think, like I said, where your attention goes, your energy flows. And when you're in a room with energy that you have never been in before, like when you're in a room with a whole bunch of like-minded people who just are vibrating on the same wavelength as you, the energy the match and the reciprocity is different. I would assume that we require a place where there is a warm climate year long. No, as soon as you said that, I was thinking, man, a retreat to Africa. But I don't, when you say Africa, is like where in Africa? Because like Africa, a whole continent, like Africa is like the biggest, most vast, most rich, resourceful environment in the world. So, man, oh man, Tanzania. Tanzania. Well, I know a guy who takes people to explore the richness of Tanzania. So, Lauren, what do you think about celibate in order to detox your body and mind of overstimulation and use meditation as a tool to free your mind from bad habits such as craving sugar or fear of missing out? This is a great question. So, make sure I reread it. Well, what do I think about fasting? In general, fasting is a spiritual discipline. So, fasting spiritually, you deprive yourself physically. It's not depriving yourself. Well, yeah, you deprive yourself, you deprive your flesh and your physical human ego needs to feed your spirit because flesh and spirit are often against each other. Our physical body is kind of like when your mind tells you something, but your body is telling you something else. Or your mind is telling, or your body's telling you something, but your spirit telling you something else. They're in conflict. So when you're meditating, you're listening to your spirit, right? And you're detaching from the physical state. That's why you close your eyes, because we're detaching from the physical reality of things. So I would say meditation and prayer and fasting, because when you fast, you're supposed to be fasting and praying. But I think really you should be fasting, praying, and meditating, because to me, prayer and meditation go hand in hand. You don't really do one without the other. Because again, it's a two-way street with the divine, the most high. So when you pray, you're meditating. You pray to ask, and then you meditate for the answer. So I think they go hand in hand. Fast, pray, and meditate. That's a great question. But if you're talking about like celibacy in terms of abstaining from sex, again, I mean, lust is a fleshly desire. So if you're, I know in Muhammad, I think you could speak on this a little bit better than me, but I know in some faiths, the one I know is Muslim faith, during the Ramadan, they fast from, if you're married, you actually fast from a whole lot of things, including sex from your partner. So yeah, just, celibacy is a great way to decline the wants of the flesh in order to feed the spirit too. Sex is like one of the most powerful things you can do with your body. For real. But yeah, y'all, this has been an awesome live stream. Thank you all for joining me. If you're still on here and you haven't given it a thumbs up, go ahead and give this live stream a thumbs up. Yes, from food, drink, your tongue, and sex. Yep, for sure. From sun up to sundown. Yeah, Muslim faith is a faith that I highly respect and regard, because there is a lot of correlation with Muslim faith and Christian faith that a lot of Christians reject, but is biblical, like facing the east. I realize there's a whole book in the Bible, I believe it's Habakkuk, that talks about the heart of God being in the east, in the Middle East, and that's where the heart of God, and it actually goes into like the whole like Palestine and Israel thing, which is super controversial now, but yeah, it's actually biblical. The heart of God was instructed to be planted in the Middle East, literally. So I thought that was really interesting when I read that. But yeah, go ahead and join that, or not join, but click that link in the pinned comment. I'll go ahead and drop it down. Muhammad says, "You are not a Muslim if you don't accept the gospel of Jesus." Yeah, that's good. Yeah, go ahead and click that link. Go ahead and click that link and join the workshop if it resonates with you. I'll see you there on Saturday the 16th. I try to do some more live streams throughout the week just to catch y'all up to speed on some of the newer videos that I'll be doing in the or on the YouTube page. Other than that, go ahead and drink your water and make sure you're hydrated tonight and all the nights after. Meant to say Jesus went to places to pray, and to me that's like meditation in a way. But yeah, I think it's cool. Muslims pray facing east makes sense. Yeah. And I think it's good to go certain places where you know you won't be distracted, and also at the same, but in the same time, at the same token, God directed Jesus, I think it was in the book of Mark, directed Jesus actually into the wilderness, into the actual wilderness, for the divine intent to be tempted by the devil. You know that? For the intent for him to be tempted by the devil for 40 days and 40 nights. For that test. So just know when you fasting, you're going to be tested. Your flesh going to be tested because your flesh wants something, and then your body and then your spirit wants something else. So it really teaches you to reject your spirit, right? Hello, greetings, goddess. Is your locks real? Real as can be. Real as can be. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off the live stream, man. This has been a good live stream. Thanks y'all for hanging out with me. I'm gonna leave the chat up for a little while, just in case y'all have any questions or comments. But yeah, this has been real. Appreciate y'all. There's not gonna be a recorded video tomorrow because I just skimped out on making a recorded video for tomorrow, but there'll definitely be one up next week. Next week on Friday, one video a week. And make sure you're getting your sleep. Make sure you're hydrating. And also keep your social circle BS free, you know? BS free. All right, y'all. Yeah, have a good night. Sorry if you just got here. Catch the live streams 7. I usually do them 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this right now it's like 8:30 my time. All right, so I usually do them around the evening. I'm gonna try to do one Saturday around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're gonna be there, then be there or be square. But yeah, y'all. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. Stay tuned for my YouTube shorts over the weekend. I have some good ones coming up. Yeah, definitely tune in. Definitely tune in this weekend. And I might get one tomorrow evening. Who knows? I don't know if I can do another 30 minutes. My mouth dry. I ain't eat no dinner. My stomach growling. Okay, Tiago, you got a question? Question? Ask me. Ask away. What you got? Yeah, this live stream, we've been on here for maybe like, what's 78 minutes? That's an hour and, how long is that? That's an hour and, almost an hour and 30 minutes we've been on here. An hour and 17. Yeah. All right, y'all. Peace. Be blessed. Stay hydrated. All right. Peace.